the cast, gentlemen.
It's the final game of the night here at Challengers Uprising, and SolaFide and Zeus Gaming are fighting over their way into the top 2 of the Swiss bracket. Whoever wins here, they're just done. They're in. They're done with the bracket. They get to go home, drink their hot cocoa, and have a great time. TJ, who do you think it's going to be?
Oh, I have to make a prediction. I was just thrown off because you were like, I got this intro. I'm going to nail it. And I expected you to come out the gate. And instead it was like somber and stake selling. If I had to go off last game, I do genuinely think SolaFide are going to close this out. I think Zeus had an unexpectedly fantastic performance in game 1. Unexpectedly excellent follow-up on Lorem's Urgot, which they should absolutely not let him get again. But SolaFide have demonstrated where their power comes from. And I think they just need to return to that well. Get Apollo out ahead, play through Apollo, let all good things follow as Apollo and Tuesday win team fight after team fight.
I like the bans coming out here from SolaFide. Of course, the Kaiserrel we've seen, I think, all 3 games now. But the Lilia ban to take away from RBM is really good because he showed fantastic performance on that game number 1. Triple jungle ban.
Zeus Gaming real concerned with Winston, or at least keeping Winston out of Winston's good performing champions. Udyr and Olaf have both been good champions for Winston, and Winston's, I'm going to be mean, Winston's absence from this series has been massive for Zeus Gaming. We did see a couple of very good engages on the Hecarim towards the latter half of that game, and it is maybe what pushed SolaFide over the line. Let's be real. So if we could get a more consistent game from Winston, maybe it would tie things up in a neat little bow. Speaking of maybes, we got a Senna again. This was the champion that dropped Apollo out of game number 1. This was the champion that I would say led to Zeus Gaming taking a victory in game number 1. So I'm very curious to see SolaFide opting back into it. And I'm very curious as to whether or not it will be a Starvation Senna again, or if Apollo is just going to go a little bit more straight farming here.
Yeah, I really wasn't convinced in game number 1. It seems like really a run back to game number 1 here from Zeus Gaming, picking up the misfortune into the Senna. And why not? It went so well the first time, and Winston 3 games in a row on this Hecarim.
I mean, it's Zeus Gaming going, hey, let's just go back to that team fight well. Let's go with what worked in game 1. Let's build a comp that can win team fight after team fight. We didn't quite feel like we had that during game number 2. Orianna, Shockwave, Bullet Time, easiest combo in the game. Zeus Gaming have it. Now, it's down to what can they draft as their frontline. During game 1, it was the Malphite. During game 1, it was the Gragas. We don't get that here. Zeus Gaming opting for a Rek'Sai instead. I'm still looking for a really tanky last 2 picks. That could be the Urgot again. That could be... Oh, this is actually the first. That's really fascinating. That's the first Rek'Sai we've seen here in the SGC. But I'm looking for a tank over on Zeus Gaming. That could be the Urgot again. That could be the Malphite again. And then I want to see Pocket Rhino maybe go outside of the Galio well after a game where it didn't work. Having said that, we do have Engage from the Rek'Sai, so maybe this is what they were missing, a little bit more Engage for the Galio to follow up on.
I think the Rek'Sai is an interesting pick worth talking about because at the beginning of the item rework, she really was one of the Forerunner junglers where everyone was like, oh man, Rek'Sai is so good now with Prowler's Claw, she's going to do so much. And she just sort of fell off the radar, but I think she's pretty decent, especially her strengths have never changed. She's great at tracking the enemy jungler and getting kills on AD carries. So that chase down is something they were sorely lacking last game, and Zeus Gaming have drafted the Rek'Sai to compensate.
So I was kind of looking for a repeat, right? Galio, Leona would make a little more sense. Galio plus Malphite is the ultimate, hey, we can deliver balls, hey, we can follow up on each other. This works. Instead, we get a Leona. This indicates to me that it probably won't be a Malphite up on the top side. This indicates to me we may be returning to the Urgot well, but they are giving Lorem a last pick, counter pick here. The Leona down bottom will give a little bit more aggression, which will let them bully the Senna out, stop the Senna from just zoning them off completely. It will be a set against that. I actually really like this set into Leona matchup, so I think that this is anyone's bot lane, but I lean Zeus Gaming at least to start. Obviously, Apollo can pull something out regardless. It'll be Gnar in the top side.
Not surprised by any of these picks so far. We saw this Senna set lane game number 1, so I don't know. I don't think Urgot does great into Gnar.
I don't think so either, but you can always pray.
Shame.
This will be a Ornn in response. Okay, so there it is. Ornn going topside in the hands of Alorum. This will be Orianna to take mid lane, Rek'Sai sitting in the jungle. They're just waiting. They're just waiting on this one.
I would love to see an Orianna top though. That'd be hell of a matchup there into the Gnar. I think this one, more than the other games, is going to fall back on the hands of the junglers. This was something we set up in game number 1, but really didn't see materialize a whole lot. Whereas it was more, hey, Winston didn't get a whole lot done. I guess Zeus Gaming are ahead. I think this game it is going to be very much RBM really needs to get rolling.
I think that's absolutely the right framing. RBM has looked really good, but Rek'Sai is an execution-based champion. Whether or not Rek'Sai is able to find an early start and keep that snowball rolling will define Zeus Gaming's early and mid game. Come late game, you do have the Ornn for added value, you do have that teamfight combo once we get into the mid game from the Orianna is fortunate, not to mention the late game scaling that comes from an Orianna. So there is, don't get me wrong, a devastating late game teamfight, but Zeus Gaming would much rather not go there. Zeus Gaming want to get out of this series before Apollo is on a Senna that is one-shotting people. No more 45-minute games. Unfortunately for Zeus, they're playing here on Challengers Uprising, and if there's one thing we do, it's play 40-minute bangers. Game number 3, we have gone all the way as SolaFide have been knocked back against the ropes time and time again. They narrowly managed to scrape back at game 2. And now they must do it again. The winner of this is the highest ranked team in our Swiss bracket, does not need to play any further Swiss stage games.
These are both top 8 teams, Proving Ground circuit, and I think this is really cool to see how closely matched they are. These matchups can change on a dime, and I want to see more from Zeus Gaming. I want to see more of this game. I want to see literally exactly what happened game number 1 again. Like, if you can just pull that off, if you can get Apollo behind, I think you have a chance to win this and prove that you deserve to be out of the Swiss. Get yourself into those playoffs.
Well, it is twofold, right? Because you do have, hey, we want to do that again, knock Apollo out of lane. But also you have, hey, if this game keeps going, you have Apollo Tuesday on Azir Senna. And that is a rate of damage I do not want to face in any late game, especially on players such as Tuesday and Apollo.
Well, this is just the inverse of last game, really, because that was the Senna Azir for Zeus, and they weren't able to execute upon it quite as well as I'd like, as Rhino takes half of his health and poke.
They weren't able to execute on it, but Darkwings and Raheen are much less the focus of their teams than Tuesday and Apollo. Tuesday and Apollo are the damage dealers. Talking about the damage dealers over on Zeus, they normally put their faith in RBM and Alorum. Alorum on Ornn duty. You can expect him to be quiet for the first half of the game. That's why RBM's got to stand up, got to be present, got to be the carry for that first half of the game.
I'm interested to see how this develops around the 6-minute mark. I want to see where RBM puts their attention, because it can explode, like we were talking about in draft, so quickly, basically considering how successful the Rek'Sai becomes. If Rek'Sai doesn't get a ton of ganks off early, basically a useless champion. Little more than ball delivery service with a knockup. And it's very easy once you're behind
Here we go.
Get blown up.
RBM into the mid lane, scares Tuesday away, scares him off of wave. already boosting Darkwings out ahead. Worth noting, simultaneously, top lane, Dokla out-dueling Alorum.
It's a really tough matchup top. Any ranged into melee, even if that melee is Ornn, is going to be pretty difficult.
So, rough times for Alorum, but to be expected. That'll get better as the game goes on and Ornn cares less about what's playing into him.
Cares about nothing but slaughter. That is sort of the counterpoint, though, to our SolaFide scaling. Not the desire for Ornn to slaughter things. But once you get that level 14, you can upgrade those items for your teammates and really bolster their scaling as well. So I don't want anyone to come away with the impression that it's the end of the game because there's a scaling Senna end in his ear. If you get to that 14-minute mark, it can still work.
Hey, what's up? How you doing? I heard you liked 45-minute games. So we decided what we would do is we would pause for 30 minutes and play a quick 15-minute game after that.
Just a GG 15?
I don't know if you saw this, but the LEC had like the longest pause in LEC history today.
I didn't, but I heard about it. I heard that they like filled the desk a lot of time.
Yeah, LS got roasted by Sharks. Things were going pretty well.
Sounds like fun.
Hopefully I haven't just jinxed us by referencing that. Now is probably a good time to mention that there will be more challenges Uprising tomorrow. And the day after, during the week, we'll be on the Slash Academy channel, if you're looking for us. That's really exciting as we get a little bit closer to that real Riot credit, right?
TJ, it's such a bummer. I turn off my light as we go into game because we've been doing the quick outs today. I'm like, cool, nobody has to see my face until the next game. The beginning of this game, the first desk, I just forgot to turn it back on. And it just came to us and I never had a light. So, oh, good. Now I get to turn it back off again. Cool.
Turn that switch back. Because we're switching the game back on. I don't know what you're bothering, because, like, I'm your dark reflection anyway. Zazel in trouble here. TP in.
It's a huge amount of commitment.
Ooh, Zenith played.
Rhino
He's
still
out.
alive, flashes out, and it looks like Zazel now the one in trouble despite initiating this fight. Apollo low as well. First blood goes down. RBM finds it. Knock up onto Winston. Winston is down as well as Raheen picks up a kill, and game one history is repeating itself here today, TJ.
Apollo going down early, both summoners blown, no cleanse, no flash left. You can expect there to be more presence in that bottom lane, as RBM is doing exactly what we demanded he do. Show up early and have an impact on the key lanes for SolaFide.
And now this is a beautiful start for the bottom lane of Zeus Gaming. You know, this misfortune really needs to come out ahead. But especially against a fasting Senna, you can find so much power that you can exert over her because she is not going to be scaling up as well as an AD carry Senna would. That first back is not as impactful. We saw in game number 1 as well, Apollo opted for Swifty's second back, Longsword first back. So it's not a whole lot of power that you're getting on each successive back, as we're seeing again here.
RBM, for their second showing of the game, will arrive in the top side, miss their ability. Flash a happy penguin.
Yeah, the gold penguin. I like the TFT emotes, especially when they're flashing game. I feel like I'm not alone in getting suckered in.
You're like, I play TFT.
I recognize that.
Is it still like costing you your life now that it's on mobile?
No, not as much. I've been just like watching League and reading recently instead of as much games. I've really pulled back.
You know, I said I wasn't gonna do it, but I've been playing Wild Rift on my phone whenever I'm like on a bus recently. I've been like, I could just play League of Legends for this 15-minute bus ride. It's kind of powerful, even on high ping.
Yeah, see, we don't have public transportation where I live, so I never get to play it.
Allura will be zoned back here on the top side now. Finally have the turn. Ornn has arrived here, so Dokla can't mess around. Winston is coming in to bail Dokla out. Onslaught of Shadows will be denied. Very good framing by Alorum. They will survive.
Man, Alorum is so damn clean. That was ridiculous. In the top lane, stalling out everything they threw at him. And now look at the bottom lane. They're going to be able to secure this Drake, and Alorum trying to get out of the threat range of this Gnar here.
but also stop Dokla from taking too many plates. It's there are two wolves inside of them. One of them is saying, go in, and the other one is saying, go home. Zeus will get, because of that presence up on the top side, because of Winston being anchored up there, they will get the Drake, and they also might catch Winston by surprise. It's warded now. Do they fight for this buff? No. They decide they've already got a lead. There's no reason to get fancy.
That's interesting, because RBM has the smite. Going back for it now, this seems...
inefficient.
Yeah. And a lot. Just a lot.
High quantity of decision-making currently happening in the jungle.
I will not comment on the quality. RBM, to their credit, was able to get the red buff there. Should be able to find Winston damage. Nice.
Yeah, 10 damage. Let's go, baby.
400 more of those. We'll be good.
That's
no,
what I'm
Winston's
talking
not that
about.
tanky.
Raptor's stolen away as well, so things still going in RBM world. Winston still kind of struggling in the jungle.
Yeah, this has been the pattern for the entire series, right? Oh no, Rhino looking to be engaged. Finds the stun into Apollo, into the bullet time.
Good combo. Apollo low. He pulls him closer. My God! You killed him, Zazel! You've killed your only friend!
Zazel running in shame back to base, or the tower at the very least. Beautiful combo there. Raheen and Rhino knew exactly when to go in, and yeah, to your point, TJ, Zazel really did give an assist there. Didn't even get the 150 gold for it, but sometimes it happens. Try to save your friend, kill them instead. According to anime, that happens approximately every high school class.
I've not watched enough to comment, but that sounds weirdly specific. Early start here for Zeus is looking real good, it must be said, in Game 3. As SolaFide, the champions of the first SGC event. Risen champions, as our intro says, have kind of been struggling to put things together. First versus Barrage in Big League, where they were knocked down. And now, here versus Zeus Gaming.
This Herald should not be contested here. Too little too late from the side of Zeus Gaming, so it will be secured here by SolaFide. I'm really glad for their decision making there. Oh, Alorum didn't know he was backing on a ward. He should be just dead.
He's
no
just
flash. Dead. Oof. It's my analysis, TJ.
Oofers in the chat. SolaFide able to get a little bit back. This gold is still dead even, if you're curious. A lot of that gold is, believe it or not, in the mid lane, where Tuesday has been absolutely dominating. So part of the double threat that is supposed to be here in the late game is on schedule.
Mm-hmm. But I will say though, TJ, as a solo threat, I don't think either of these are particularly terrifying with this team comp that Zeus have. I think the problem with the game where Apollo was on Ezreal was that they had no way onto the backline. This time, I mean, Senna and Azir are both pretty easy to kill. Azir definitely has more mobility, but once you catch Senna with any CC, she just dies. And Azir, they have enough CC available, enough dive available, especially with RBM, to just kill Tuesday.
There we go, take two on the turret. Zeus do call in RBM. Gonna be TPs towards mid lane, so nothing from Tuesday to contest down bottom, but that's okay because RBM's got better things to do.
Dokla now shoving up on the top side, who has been having a great time up top. I mean, first tower already up towards Dokla. And we talked about it earlier, the main win condition really is Apollo, and especially in this game, Apollo and Tuesday. But there are just some games for SolaFide where randomly Dokla pops off. This is already looking to be one of them.
Really, you're willing to go that far out when Dokla has like a 20 CS lead at a kill?
Potentially. I did hedge my bet a little, TJ.
This is looking to be what is your definition of hedging?
I said potentially at the end of it.
If Dokla does not get at least 10 kills,
that's
block Matt on Twitter and Liberia.
That's a really high bar.
Block him. Dokla did have an 11 kill Camille game, which is of course what you're referencing. So, who knows? I'm not too worried about it because, or I wouldn't be too worried about it if I were Zeus Gaming coach or whatever, because Alorum isn't supposed to be too flashy during the early game. So this early lead doesn't mean much as long as Alorum doesn't go down again. Alorum is sitting on a TP, as is Dokla. The winner of this fight can participate in the Drake Brawl currently ongoing. Zeus will start the Drake. Alorum will disengage safely. And here comes an effort.
Rhino comes in, Shockwave to follow the solar flare. Apollo's down, 0-3 now for the AD carry. A beautiful dragon secured by RBM as well. The fight's still going. Bullet time onto Zeyzal. He falls, and the fight is solidly in the hands of Zeus Gaming.
I really like the ball carrier combo there. Rhino's been punching above their weight all series long. Now they are essential. Dark Wings attaches the Shockwave to him. Pocket Rhino with a hard engage to start that fight, finds access to Apollo, and they win immediately. Now, inside the pit, RBM over the wall, will chase down Dokla. Dokla gets away. Up top, Rhino is gone. 1 kill back over for SolaFide, and they're still looking for more. I don't know why we're fighting here.
No, neither do I. I was listening to your analysis and I was looking at the screen. I was like, oh, Joe's running the replay. TJ is explaining it. Don't worry about it. But no, that was an extra fight. This is the replay.
Check out that Shockwave just delivered by Pocket Rhino.
It was really just the cleanest engage to the fight as you can take. And then Alorum comes in with a great call of the Forge God, ensuring Zeyzal's stuck there. And really, it's just 2 picks more than it is a team fight at that point.
But why did this? Because he was hitting the control board? And Dokla was like, that's not allowed. That's my control board.
And then almost finding the knockup on Dokla.
What was that flash for?
Oh, that's so sad. RBM flashed at exactly the right time where the leap from Gnar landed on his head and got the double jump.
Real rough.
That's tragic. That is so tragic. Oh, God.
Alright, well, I'm struggling to process this game, let it be known. Zeus are out ahead in terms of objectives and very little else. The gold is still dead even. The kills lean their way, but the gold is made up for both in the mid lane and mostly up top where Dokla is farming up a storm. This is Aftershock set, it should be noted. I'm going to note that because I really do hate Phase Rush set, as you very well know.
I was waiting for it as soon as I heard Aftershock set, I was like, all right, where's the angry rant?
Phase Rush set, bad. Zeyzal, good. With the Aftershock set, he's going to be relevant as a tank even towards this late game.
Apollo now just hasn't been farming. And I know it's because, you know, fasting sen or whatever, but level 7. Really rough here. Bullet time into the choke. Because it looks like Rhino's been caught out.
Flash over the wall. RBM looking for an angle round the side. Will be zoned off. Dokla and Alorum here. Oh, what a good ulti. RBM still in trouble. They'll find the kill. Alorum for the knock-up. Winston can't confirm it. Rhino around the side is tied up by Zeyzal. Rhino overextending. Does get exhausted by Zeyzal, which feels a little questionable. We'll get ulted further in. Solar Flare on top. Rhino still going. Will eventually fall.
I have no criticisms for Rhino. That was beautiful. Not good, but beautiful. Just hitting in the back of the fight and saying, you know what? There's no way I get out of this alive. Might as well make it fun for myself. And by God, made it fun for me too. Thank you, Rhino.
I mean, there was no reason for Rhino to be there. They were trying to find an angle to see if they could help, but Leona can't be that separated because Leona isn't a damage threat at all. So, just a very, very overconfident positioning. It's the kind of positioning you get away with against less coordinated teams, but SolaFide are able to punish it. Hex Flash, Rhino in for the stun. Zeyzal will bear witness to that, and 3 misfortune autos. And guess what, Matt? He'll be fine.
Weird. It's almost like he's set. With the chem tank available, he's just going to be able to heal through that damage, actually just survive it. Because he has so much wall resist as well.
I think maybe just because it's so late, but both support players are just playing like a little wild here.
Yeah.
Hex Flash in for the stun on the set. I mean, sure he doesn't have the ultimate, so it's like safe, but like why?
Man, screw that set. Oh no. Rhino. Rhino.
Rhino will be shielded. Darkwing's almost gets him out.
Shockwave.
A big shockwave may turn this. Zazel very low. RBM in. Denied. Carried out to the fight. RBM is gone. 1-for-1 trade. Call the Forge God from
Our
Lord
flank.
across the fight. Maybe they can make something out of this, man.
Now Winston running away as fast as his horsey legs will carry him. Tuesday pumping out damage from the backside of the fight. Darkwings flashes over the wall. Will slowly find Tuesday as Dokla chases down Raheen. Raheen will fall. Meganar available. Dokla trying to win the 1v2 versus Alorum and Darkwings, but not much longer for this world, unfortunately.
Dawning Shadow, baby.
Woo! Esports!
Seems gaming have won the fight, but they don't have anyone left, so... Hey, we're not gonna get anything out of this. This was just an experience that we're all on together. It's like the magic school bus. You learn something.
What a great shockwave. I mean, the key
This
here was
denial will feel
RBM
good
got
as well.
pushed
I really
up
liked
and
it.
not out.
I really liked it because they denied the entry and then suplexed him out of midair.
Well, into the same spot. Like, that was really what won the fight for them. So they ended up in the same spot, and then from here, Dokla just gets chased down. Meanwhile, there's a dragon fight, TJ.
Friendly. Dive in
Yeah.
around the side. Rhino starts things off. Apollo's real far forward. Into stasis will fall. What
Shuffle.
a good Dreamer shuffle. Raheen too far forward. Zazel will take advantage of that. RBM down as well. And this should be a team fight. Passed over to SolaFide as they will sink the dragon.
Oh, Rhino! You're so
He's
good!
Fine!
No!
He is not.
No! Tuesday, don't do it! Oh, that's cruelty. That is cruel and unusual punishment. You let that Leona live. That was like so clean for so long, and then Tuesday knew, smelled something.
Pocket Rhino is either like making the most heads-up play ever, or a hex flashing into Q Zazel.
Yeah. Really just Schrodinger's Mata. Either like season 4 Mata or like season 7 Mata, and it's really unclear which one you're getting.
Here comes the Baron. Gold still pretty much even. The entire early game there has been fighting, but I want to stress it hasn't earned anything for either team, really. Neither AD carry is out ahead. Apollo's pretty far behind, but he's playing Senna, so it probably won't matter unless we have a devastating team fight. Dokla does have a lot of gold, but they're playing Gnar, so who cares? Personal opinion, but I'll show it on broadcast. My focus for this is really the midline duel. Tuesday really pulling his weight here in this game, and Darkwings is a fed Oriana.
Oh, the engage is so clean. The bullet
No,
time
thank
comes back
you.
out.
Here's Zazel.
Pocket Rhino.
Chooses his target. Selects Pocket Rhino. Zenith Blades over the top. Pocket Rhino
Still alive.
will survive. Alurum's got the turn. RBM into the back lines. Will be suplex. Zazel finds the opening. RBM drops the ulti. Does not get away. An awful lot of support focus in that fight. Just eventually go to SolaFide as the dive comes through. Dokla takes the front line. Darkwings is gone. Flash away. Alurum in trouble. Underneath the turret. Dokla's still going. Well behind the turret. Raheen's the focus. And Raheen is gone. That is what SolaFide needed. And they can turn this into the Baron.
The humanity, TJ. Every play seems to be precipitated on Pocket Rhino, and it's like a 50-50 whether it was a brilliant save by Rhino or just getting picked off, and that one went way too long. And we're seeing what happens when a Rek'Sai hits late game without being out ahead. You don't do enough damage to get any kills, and you're made of paper. And you get absolutely blown up in every team fight and can't contribute.
I want to just stress Pocket Rhino's survival here. And then you see RBM choose out of all the targets Zazel, who just says, okay.
Sure.
I guess.
That was
Dokla,
really good.
yeah, real carry here. Right after I dismissed Dokla's possible contributions, Dokla goes huge. This is apparently what a Fednar can do. Diving in Mega Gnar form to stun up Raheen, and that's what really guarantees the win as Raheen goes down.
I want to highlight here as well how improved Winston is looking this game compared to the 2 previous games. Just finding the cleanest engages, not getting caught out anywhere, and really just more than pulling his weight this game, whereas in the first 2 games, I don't know if I would have said the same. Like, definitely doing more than his fair share on this hack room time. So,
yeah. I
really
mean,
heads up to
Winston has always been. I remember casting him in, spring 2020 at Academy, and Winston. I had done all my prep. Winston had underperformed all season. And I came in and I was like, well, Winston underperforming this season, and then he had like a 20-kill game. So he's obviously always got that potential, and if he can do it in Academy, he should very well be consistent about it in Amateur. However, Winston's not been able to successfully make it consistent. We are seeing a much improved performance, as you note. Dokla also out ahead, as you predicted.
I'm really worried about late game for Zeus Gaming. I think this may just be the slow bleed out from them, because RBM, who do you safely engage onto here? The only 2 people you can find a knockup on that actually matters is Apollo and Tuesday. And Tuesday will ult you out, and if you dive back in, the frontliners are going to already be there with their Azir to just knock you back. We already saw that earlier.
I'll tell you what you're missing, Matt. You're missing Season 10 Ornn.
That's true.
The Ornn items, real good right now. Force of Nature completed. I'm real sure Alorum's going to be zooming through these team fights. And higher mobility Ornn is kind of terrifying. I played against it a few times. We'll see if he's able to convert. He's still riding high on that Urgot performance. I believe Alorum can do anything.
Yeah, so I mean, if we're looking for the Alorum carry angle, we just need to wait for the next level. That's really where things will start to matter again, because he can update or upgrade all the mythics for his team, slowly but surely. And I think that is their way back into this game, because currently they're down 6k gold, but the Ornn items are so unbelievably gold efficient once they get the upgrades, that it should be able to swing this to like an almost even game state. I'm not saying it'll fix the problems for Zeus Gaming, but they will have a fighting chance against SolaFide, which I would argue right now they very much do not.
Well, I mean, they still have a 1-3-4 Prowler's Claw Rek'Sai, so it's not going to solve everything.
And going
RBM.
straight into Edge of Night as well, which is like the traditional build, but I would almost prefer seeing a more defensive build. Just get the Steric second. You're not going to be an assassin this game.
No? Okay. I was thinking Knight's Vow, go full LPL.
Yeah, I mean, even potentially. Ever since the changes, it's been less great on Rek'Sai, but really, she has always been, you get out ahead early.
Can we get a stat check on that turret, Producer John?
Small HP.
31 HP, says Producer John.
That's little.
Correct.
That is small HP.
He says it has 0 HP, and he's right.
Damn. He's good. Producer Joe really killing it.
This is Gaming playing defense here in the mid lane as SolaFide look to push in for the first inhib of the game. Watch Rhino on the flank. Watch how split they are overall. There is a TP available for Darkwings.
Darkwings instead deciding to back. This would be the
Bot
perfect
lane.
time to engage here for SolaFide. Bot lane coming in. There goes Alorum. Finds the call. The Forge God engage on the Winston. Jumps out with the horse. And now bullet time into the back line will do wonders for the side of Zeus Gaming. And Dokla on the flank finally. Shockwave onto 2. Zazel low. Darkwings gets slammed into the wall but will not be stunned. It looks like SolaFide have been forced out of the base of Zeus Gaming.
2 inhibitor turrets down, but they don't lose any inhibitors. And RBM's on the hunt. The only low HP target, though, is Zazel, and we have seen that interaction already, so... I'm not pressed to repeat it. Zeus Gaming do, however, manage to survive the shove in. And as we talked about, those Ornn upgrades are going to start coming through at this point, so... hopefully, we can get one big late game teamfight in here. If you're looking for something to late game teamfight around, it would be this Baron most likely. It is a game end condition for SolaFide. If they can get this Baron, they will be able to run this through the inhibitors and very likely take themselves out of the Swiss bracket here at Cup. Zeus on the opposite end. If they get the Baron, kind of just even this game back up and not a whole lot more.
Zazel is so damn fast catching Pocket Rhino out there. Not going for the engage, but...
Hemtank, Dead Man's Plate.
Yeah, he's really speedy. I think this is where things get really risky. RBM definitely in trouble here. Knows it now.
Top
Dream shuffle.
Will flash away. That was so slick. He barely survives.
Late game Rek'Sai, ladies and gentlemen.
And that's the cue, of course, with the Smite carrier low. Pocket Rhino tries to go forward, but the Baron has already started. Rhino left all alone on an island here. Nobody wants to help him out. Call the Forge God. Bullet time. It is beautiful, but it's not enough damage.
Alorium looking for a little bit more in the backline at the bottom of the fight, but instead, at the right side, Darkwings and Raheen trying to pump out any damage that they can. Instead, the fight just seems to be turned on its head and stopped. Alorium caught at the bottom now, in between his enemies mid tier 1 and tier 2. He's trying to stall for his team as long as he can. Will eventually be taken down by Zazel.
RBM stasis will deny the 1-for-1 trade. Does get away, but as a result, nobody dies for SolaFide. One player dies for Zeus Gaming. That would normally be the cue to restart the Baron. I don't know if they have the HP for it. They decide they do.
Winston certainly does, and it looks like Darkwings wants to try and zone off this. Raheen and Pocket Rhino shortly behind them.
He's warded.
Desperation engage, if anything.
Over the wall. Rhino for the start of the fight. Zazel, the hard focus. Will Haymaker will be very low, will survive. There's the dive instead from Tuesday. The Shuriba Shuffle is good. Will drop into stasis. And Dokla has arrived on the flank. That is everything that SolaFide needed. They will demolish this team fight. Zeus are shattered around the Baron. And here we go. Third time's the charm. RBM maybe could effort a steal, and that's why Dokla will hunt him down.
No damage there from RBM. Not going to be able to 1v1 Dokla. Baron easily secured there by SolaFide, who have been putting on a clinic this game. Despite the losses in their bottom lane early on, they have recovered beautifully. Sure, Apollo's not going to do a ton, but almost hit that 100 soul point. And now, looking at the bottom of the map, that's going to be the third Mountain Drake for the side of SolaFide, making RBM even less useful for that assassination purpose.
Baron picked up for SolaFide. This could be their game end. And this was a hard game, as you said, because their all-star carries down at the bottom lane got blown out. Normally a win condition. Dokla had to step up, Winston had to step up, shake their usual form to win this game, and by God, they have.
Winston goes in with the onslaught of shadows, actually, able to find it onto Raheen. Teleport coming in as well from the side of SolaFide. Zazel in a little bit of trouble, ults into the backline, and that is one dead Orianna. The fight all but determined already. RBM falls in the back as well. A Baroned up SolaFide pushing now in a 5 versus 3 into Zeus Gaming's base.
And that should be game. SolaFide demonstrate they have the legs to run on. Dokla can step up, Winston can step up, and this team has threats in every lane after this game. They are the best performing team in Cup so far. Pocket Rhino will go down, and here is the threat for the Nexus.
Alorium and Raheen gonna have to try the 2v5 defense, able to find the knockup on a Dokla. Dokla goes low. Meganar is popped though, tries to find Raheen, knocks into the middle of the fight. Raheen is down. Alorium in the fountain. The game is ending as SolaFide make their way out of the Swiss bracket with a top 2 seeding, taking down Zeus Gaming in a convincing game number 3 as they find their way to the playoffs.
Darkwings will have to watch, as indeed that will be the end of our game number 2. I cannot believe it. What a fantastic end to the day.